Louis Gray, we're in Indiana today at a conference, American Indian Education Conference, sponsored by the faculty at the university here, Dr. Johnny Flynn. I would like you to introduce yourself, let us know what tribe you're coming from, what part of the country you're coming from, and tell us what you're doing down here today real briefly, and we'll get into a couple other subjects.
Well, they brought me in to talk about new media. I'm a former publisher of Native American Times, published some other publications, but probably best known for that. Last year I've been involved in the Obama campaign on their policy group. Earlier I was involved with Indians List, getting Native Americans registered on reservations in Nevada. Last couple of months been involved with my own tribes to get out the vote coordinator, and also for Central Oklahoma for NCAI.
That must have been kind of an exciting result of all those efforts.
Well, it's nice to win one now and then, and we haven't had been involved in a winning race in a while, but you know, we just keep plugging along, and felt real comfortable with this candidate, and he sought us out. He developed the policy council that I was a member of. High-ranking officials of his campaign were involved in everything that we did, and encouraged us to take part, from everything from raising money to getting out the vote to creating policy statements on his behalf. So we were involved in a major way in his campaign, and in several states like Dakotas, Montana, Washington State, Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon. And in these places, you know, we really worked to get out the vote.
How early did you get involved in the campaign? Were you on board with Obama in the primary, or where did you go with that part of the campaign?
Well, I was part of the loyal opposition first. I was an early supporter of Bill Richardson, and when we went to Indians List, we had a campaign camp out in the Morongo Reservation in California. And we invited all the candidates, and the only ones that showed up were Richardson, Gravel, Kucinich, and I wouldn't say only, because I really respected those guys for taking the time to be in there. We had hoped we would get Edwards, Clinton, and Obama, but when Clinton decided not to come, Edwards and Obama stayed back also, and there was an issue with California tribes and unions. It created some dissension, and some of the unions were going to pull their support for the major candidates if they attended our event. So Richardson, you know, faced the same problem, but he came out anyway. And so I came out editorially very strongly against Clinton and Obama's position, and Edwards. And my good friend Keith Harper responded editorially that Obama was in fact a different kind of candidate, that he just couldn't make it. And I come back again and said if it was really important to him, he would have been there. So I was really kind of upset. But Richardson dropped out of the campaign, and I was left looking for a candidate. So I did what I thought I should do. I looked at all of their policies, and I looked at all of what they were involved in and what kind of outreach they had made in the Native American communities. And it come down pretty squarely that Obama had the best outreach, had created the best positions, and had actually gone down to Indian land and sought out our vote. So I've always been a good proponent of, you know, a wise man can always change his mind, but a fool never does. So I made amends and got on board.
Tell me a little bit of the history of Indians List, if people aren't aware of that. What's that about? Run by Kaylin Free.
Yeah, Kaylin Free, Choctaw lady, and back in, probably about 8 years ago, she ran for, well, she was actually a district attorney from Pittsburgh County, which is down in Choctaw country, and she was a former U.S. attorney, and she's someone that always wanted to serve in public office. And she had a lot of people supporting her in her community, and she got out and really turned out the vote for her district attorney race. Now, she decided at that point when District 2 seat came open, when Colburn was going to run for the Senate, that left the Senate, District 2 seat open. Well, she got out early and raised quite a bit of money, but at the last second, the waning moments of the sign-up, Dan Boren, a state representative, the son of David Boren, he decided he wanted to run for that seat also. Well, he had the Boren name, Boren money, Boren machine, and
oh my gosh, that movie is so...
he ended up winning. But what Kayleen came away from that race was how to run a race at the congressional level, at the state level, and the need for it. And there just aren't enough people, Native Americans in Indian communities, that are running for office. So what she did is she came up with an idea that, well, we'll teach people how. I'll teach people what I've learned from doing this. And I've been involved with her since those early days. I supported her as a candidate and become good friends with her. And she had come to find out about my background in political activism and actual grassroots lobbying, and she just thought I would be useful to her.
Even your past newspaper experience covering issues.
Yeah, and that's one of the things she had me teach. I'd go to the campaign camp. Well, first year I went, I taught them how to use new media, how to approach, kind of what we did here today. I told them how the games works. A lot of these candidates get in there and they don't know the importance of an editorial endorsement. They don't know how to get their news out in front of newspapers. And I was teaching those candidates how to get ready. Well, 4 years later, we had another campaign camp, and I taught them how to conduct themselves during an editorial board endorsement, how to seek one out, how to ask for one. A lot of them don't even bother to get them. And it may come down to a percentage point, to maybe it's 5, depending on the subject matter and what kind of race they're in. They can make a lot of difference in a close race. And they need to know it anyway. And it was a tough lesson for them to learn. Well, Indians list, it has two components. One is outward, the advocacy of Indian candidates, and this other one is pure education. Just get people registered to vote. And that's what I did when I was out in Nevada. Part of Indianapolis' outreach is we weren't registering Democrats, we were registering all Indians to vote. And so we were able to we were hoping to make that a nationwide effort, but the way the race shook out, since we were so late getting a candidate, Clinton and Obama were slugging it out right to the very end. There was no extra money to go take this nationwide, that was the plan.
But you say those kinds of things make a difference. Does the native vote make a difference?
Oh, it certainly does. There's cases all over the country. They're from the Montana Miracle. They got Tester into the Senate. Tim Johnson into the South Dakota Senate seat. He literally was behind 500 votes until they got to Shannon County on the Pine Ridge Reservation. And by the time they counted those, he came out ahead. And so they could literally point to one precinct and say, that was the precinct that put me into the U.S. Senate. And actually pushed the Democrats in control of the Senate. Indians delivered the vote. Indians delivered the vote in the Oklahoma governor's race for Brad Henry. Native Americans put in Stephanie Hershosh in South Dakota, another female senator up in Washington State defeated Slade Gordon. When Indians turn out and vote, we can make a difference. And the Democrats are starting to recognize that. Chairman Dean of the Democratic Party has really sought us out. He kind of looks at us as the untapped 1 or 2% that the Democrats need to get things going.
Thank you very much, Louis.
All right.
Appreciate it.